You're about to listen to a presentation by Dr. Yasmeen Lari, famous Pakistan architect, UNESCO advisor, and receiver of the RIBA 2023 Royal Gold Medal. The presentation of Dr. Lari was part of the program of the second panel organized by Çare, as part of the panel series Turkey and Syria after the earthquakes. Dr. Yasmeen Lari is a legend in Pakistan and increasingly all over the world. Her journey from international modernism for the elite to zero-carbon architecture for the masses was rewarded on 13th June with the Royal Gold Medal in Architecture. Having completed her education in England at Oxford Brookes University, then Oxford School of Architecture, Dr. Lari returned to Pakistan to open her architectural practice in Karachi in 1964 as the first woman to do so, going on to become Pakistan's star architect. As a pioneer of brutalism, she built houses for the new lifestyle of the urban middle class in an independent Pakistan. She created urban landmark buildings as well as social housing. She co-founded the Heritage Foundation of Pakistan, dedicated to the research and conservation of the architectural heritage of her country, both the World Heritage Sites in Makli and Lahore, as well as everyday buildings. Dr. Lari is challenging architecture and architects to become responsible for a future in architecture that works towards ecological justice and treads lightly on the planet.
Greetings from Pakistan. Thank you, Dr. Ali, for organizing meetings of experts to discuss the devastating Turkey earthquake. It is often said that it is not the disaster but buildings that kill people. And we saw how the use of reinforced concrete in multi-story buildings led to the loss of almost 50,000 lives. As you must know, my country, Pakistan, is among the most poignant reminders of the vulnerability caused by natural disasters. Evaluated as one of the frontline states battling for survival as a result of recurring disasters, last August, a rare occurrence of record monsoon rains 1,000 times the usual downpour, combined with melting glaciers in northern mountains, caused the displacement of 33 million, rendering 3 to 4 million families bereft of homes and belongings and all other facilities. First, a little bit about my organization. Originally, it was established to safeguard Pakistan's cultural heritage. Since 2005, Heritage Foundation of Pakistan provides humanitarian assistance by linking heritage for innovative socially and ecologically led initiatives. I draw sustenance from heritage and cultural traditions of my country, which ranges from a rich collection of tangible heritage beginning from Bronze Age Mohenjo-daro to 19th and 20th century British colonial period, all lending a diversity to our cultural legacy that is not found in many countries. The intangible heritage in my country is all-pervading, and with many Sufi traditions and rituals as well as crafts that are practiced to this day. And then the vernacular heritage, from where I've learned the use of sustainable materials, local sourcing, ease of handling, economy in use, and one that is based on local wisdom. It is ironic that even though belonging to the third world, only after I had brought to a close my career as a successful architect for 36 years. From 2005, recurring disasters in Pakistan forced my attention towards the vast marginalized sections of my own country. The interaction with poverty-stricken vulnerable populations gave me the opportunity to explore their age-old practices. Learning from Pakistan's pre-industrial vernacular heritage, I understood that design is not a standalone activity. It must be underpinned by considerations of social impact and ecological sustainability. Just by working through various disasters of Pakistan has been confronted with, I learned to build by adopting ecologically and socially just methodologies. Now, by devising barefoot social architecture, or BASA, I've been able to develop strategies fulfilling the unmet needs of the vast majority. And as you must know, there are so many of them. So, why should I become an advocate of zero-carbon methodologies? This slide shows how much damage we are causing with our conventional construction methods. The amount of carbon emissions, the waste stream, the water usage, and all the rest of it. And that now has to really be curtailed in one way or the other. And because of that, I've become an advocate of zero carbon techniques. I've learned to utilize only earth, lime, and bamboo as being the most sustainable materials, and they're ones which I have utilized for my humanitarian work extensively. These three materials are the mainstay of my seismic and flood-proof structures. And today, my life's mission is to find ways to build for the other 99% of our populations, as well as to deal with climate change impact by reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. I would like to share the methodologies that I have utilized in dealing with vast displaced populations. Use of locally sourced low-tech methodologies drawn from heritage, avoiding waste by designing the same structure for emergency and permanent use, for example, using my bamboo prefab structures for both their conditions, designing with debris from collapsed structures, and reusing waste material, maximizing resources by devising self-built incremental methodologies, utilizing trained workforce to impart techniques for safe construction to enable community-driven incremental development. And just to show you one of the examples of a non-engineered structure, which is zero carbon, this is a prototype built which is based on lime brick foundations, earth masonry walls, and bamboo roof joists that was really built after the 2010 earthquake. And you can see really there's been no carbon emissions whatsoever with this. And I just wanted to show you a couple of other slides just to show you how such structures can be personalized by people themselves. And also this is an earthen stove that again is something that gives dignity to women apart from really making it useful for them. So going in that tradition of building with earth structures, this is a model that we built which really is earthquake proof. This has earth masonry walls. It has a bamboo flat roof with bamboo lattice, and you'll see how the lattice is being used within the walls and also on the external sides. And then I believe that this kind of model could have application in many parts of the world. Of course, this could be self-built by families as well as by trained artisans, and a similar structure may provide an alternative option for rebuilding in Turkey's rural areas. Because as you see, with the use of the bamboo lattice, it's entirely earthquake resistant. And here's a shaking table test that was actually conducted in one of renowned universities in Pakistan, in Karachi itself. And as you will see, this was by applying something like 7.3 Kobe earthquake movements. And you can see how they started off by going up to 100%, and then it was again to 275%. And you saw that nothing happened. There were no cracks at all until 670% of Kobe earthquake movements were simulated. And then the walls buckled. And it's going on for such a long time also. The walls buckled, but as you will see, there is no collapse of the roof. So the safety of life was assured. And that is the most important thing with the structures that we build. So there are some of the slides, pictures showing how they were self-built in the northern part of Pakistan, and how they were all built by people themselves, the families themselves, through this whole lot of trained artisans that we had trained for this specific purpose. The second model that I wanted to share with you is this versatile log structure, which is really composed of prefabricated bamboo panels. And you see this model is extremely versatile. It's based on this particular one panel of 8 foot by 5 foot size. You put 8 together and it becomes an octagon in a room, a one-room house, and you add on 2 more panels, and then it will become an elongated structure, 18 foot by 12 foot, which is like a classroom. And then if you add on some more panels, 4 more, it really becomes a kind of squarish room for as a community center. And because it's modular, you can keep on adding on more of them, and so you keep on expanding the structure itself in an incremental manner if you wish. And then I just also wanted to show you that how the model is designed in order that it could be used as an emergency shelter. And you can see on the left how the actual structure is, which is again finished off by the community itself, families themselves, and later on, if you put it on top of a plinth and properly secured, it becomes a permanent structure. So the same temporary or emergency shelter can be converted into a permanent one, and so there's no waste whatsoever. And I want to just show you a few pictures to show the same structure, how it is personalized by families themselves. So each one becomes different. And now we come to the biggest issue that we are now facing today, which is the great deluge of 2022. So what is the strategy we need when 3 to 4 million households, including women and children, face disease, hunger, and homelessness? My target today of sustainable rehabilitation of 1 million households every 2 years can only be met through decolonization and decarbonization of humanitarian assistance. Most of those engaged in the humanitarian field are aware that the international colonial charity model, which treats affected communities as victims and is based on handouts, and which operates through clusters or silos, has not provided a sustainable solution. And I put it to you, charity, although in good faith, fosters dependency and robs the receiver of self-esteem. Promotion of alien imagery and expensive materials cannot be replicated by the poor. It is culturally also very damaging. Lack of appropriate knowledge and tools among communities allows limited assistance to the needy. And women are invariably left behind, although they are the worst sufferers. And then, lastly, high administrative cost of disbursement of aid allows only a fraction to reach affected households. We know that this humanitarianism, which is provided with good intentions, providing timely assistance to the displaced, is driven by donor contributions. The funding is controlled by aid-giving agencies through INGOs or NGOs who provide assistance selectively. However, since human living, in my view, is not carried out in silos or compartments, the majority remain vulnerable while their unmet needs remain unfulfilled. Now, in contrast to that is a humanistic humanitarianism that I have devised, which is based on the tenets of Baza and that treats communities as partners and believes in the potential in poverty by maximizing the wide-ranging barefoot ecosystem which comprises the poorest strata of society. This special humanitarianism is by the people, for the people, or PFP, and is driven by humanistic ideas of benevolence, compassion, and solidarity. These attributes are found in abundance among those who have been displaced, and under the Baza strategy now form the driving force for knowledge sharing and guidance for fostering self-reliance among devastated communities. Knowing that there is a general deficit and most of the needs of the poor have hardly ever been met, either by the state or humanitarian organizations, the objective is to avoid displacement by spreading knowledge regarding safe structures and better quality of life. The PFP strategy results in a sustainable model as it relies on empowering communities through knowledge sharing and training and barefoot sustainable zero carbon methodologies of, as you see the last two lines, 4 zeros, zero carbon, zero waste, zero donor, which is leading to zero poverty. And also the 3 no's: no to handouts, no to cement, and no to steel. In contrast to the international models relying on funds and handouts, the Baza strategy is conducted by trained barefoot eco-entrepreneurs, or BEs, who are committed to improve the quality of life for their compatriots, as indeed they have been able to do under the Baza PFP for themselves. And so I'm pleased to inform you that in 11 months, we have reached holistic rehabilitation of 5,000 families who have become self-sufficient, having achieved 4 defined stages. All the stages have been achieved through sponsors' contribution of only $150 per family. The first stage is to fulfill the rights-based unmet needs, and you can see them on the left-hand side of this particular slide. And the second stage is to achieve food security, so that they all start at least living a decent life. And then, if you go on to the third stage, it's all about providing disaster mitigation measures and plantation and forests and so on and so forth. And fourth stage will be to begin pursuing barefoot livelihoods, which they've already done, started off doing within about 6 months. And so this is all achieved through training. Large-scale community outreach is being carried out through a host of these barefoot entrepreneurs who share their knowledge and charge a small fee from the community. But because the scale is so large, they're all actually earning a lot of money. So then, using my zero donor model, since April 2023, we have reached 80,000 families, out of which 60,000 have become food secure, while 20% have begun building their own eco-toilets and begun to self-build their single-room houses with their own savings. No money has come in from anywhere. The scaling up has been possible due to many reasons. a paradigm shift in the culture of giving direct allocations to community groups. There are no intermediaries. Scale up the Baza model and fostering community empowerment. Implementing low-cost cross-cutting themes to achieve SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. Assuring sustainable rehabilitation through community resources, training, and capacity building. Empowering communities to govern and utilize community social funds. And then lastly, achieve regeneration of local economy by training barefoot entrepreneurs. The key is to build trust among communities and develop their capacities to enable them to take care of themselves. And in conclusion, I would like to remind you of, first of all, my 4 zeros: zero carbon, zero waste, zero donor, leading to zero poverty, for saving humanity and for saving the planet through humanistic humanitarianism using low-tech, low-impact methodologies.